Okay, and welcome back, students who are taking Math for Business and Finance and Math Applications, and we are doing the Chapter 19 Summary Practice Test, and we definitely will finish off these last three problems in this video. All right. Now, I know if I wasn't explaining things, I probably could have just finished them off in the last video, but there might be somebody out there that conceptually wise, hasn't gotten it or whatever. So, remember, it's I'm doing these problems as if I'm a student, so what's going through my mind is what I'm, blurting out in these videos. So what's going on in my head, even though it goes at a much faster rate than when I'm explaining it. All right, so we were looking at the problem number 4, which said Jan County needs 910,000 from its property tax to meet the budget. The total value of assessed property is 180 million. So what is Jan's tax rate? So remember, to get the tax rate, we have the budget over the total assessed value, right? So in this case here, it's 910,000 over 180 million. So we divide one by the other, and that gives us the tax rate of 0.0051, right? And it's rounding to the nearest 10,000. Let me do that. Divided by 180, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Come on. Nope. Didn't have enough spaces in my calculator for that one. 369. I don't know why. Okay. Anyway, divided by 180, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals. Yep. So that's 0.05055. It actually came out to 0.05005, so it's rounded up to 1 there. Okay. If it doesn't fit in your calculator, then use an Excel spreadsheet or do the math by hand. Okay. Don't let the limitations of your calculator, because that's as I'm sitting here and I'm punching it in, I couldn't enter in a full 180 million into my calculator. I was one digit short, but because I understand what I'm looking at and conceptually wise, I was able to put that in and still come up with these digits and still be able to round. But if your calculator isn't working, or you're not understanding what you're getting on it, then just do the math by hand, and you should end up with the number 0.0050555. This is a repeating number, okay? And then, like it said, round to the nearest 10,000. So this is tens, hundreds, thousands, tens, thousands, right? So 5 we round up, so we end up with 0.0051. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay, and then it says express the rate in mils to the nearest tenth. Okay, so if we have the rate of 0.0051, to express it in mils, we divide by 0.001, which means we end up with 5.1 mil. MILLs, 5.1 mils, all right? Easy to think, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, there's my 5.1, okay? Right. Watch that for a shortcut. Okay, pay attention to what I just did there with moving the decimal places. Okay, that's a shortcut. All right, next problem. The home of Nancy Billows is assessed at $250,000. The tax rate is 4.95 mils. What is the tax on Nancy's home? So remember, it was property tax was equal to the mils times 0.001 times the assessed value. Okay, so when we're plugging that in, we have 4.95 times 0.001 times 250,000, and that equals 1,237.50. Okay, 4.95 times 0.001 times 250,000, 1,237.50 is the amount of the property tax. Last problem, it says V's warehouse has a market value of 880,000. The property in V's area is assessed at 35% of the market. The tax rate is $58.90 per 1,000 of assessed value. What is V's property tax? Okay, you can do this. Okay, so what is V's property tax? And we just did this problem where we have the formula, right? Mills times 0.001 times the assessed value, right? Okay, now here's the thing. We can, like I said, we can do this two different ways. We could take the mills, all right, of, let's see here. Let me think about this here. Okay, so we can take the mills, and it's 35%. Okay, so it's as a percentage, right? So we have 35% times the assessed value of 880,000 times the nope. Let's see here. Is assessed at 35%. The tax rate is per 1,000. Let me 880. Okay, so this one's giving me a little bit of a difficult time. Okay, so 35% of 880,000 is equal to 308,000. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm doing wrong. All right, forget that formula there. All right, so 35% of the 880,000 is 308,000, and since we're talking about this, the tax rate of 58.90 per 1,000, I have to divide that by 1,000. Okay, and that gives me 308 in mills, right? And then I can multiply that by the 58.90. And that gives me 18,141.20. Okay. All right, so let me just quickly go back over that again. As you can see, I stuttered on this one. All right. Like I said, I'm doing this, like off of, ad hoc. This is not pre-staged. Okay. When I'm doing these problems. Right. So it says, it has a market value of 880,000, and the property in V's area is assessed at 35% of the market value. So I'm going to take 35% times the 880 to get 308,000. But because the tax rate is expressed in thousands of the assessed value, okay, so the 308 is the assessed value, I have to divide it by 1,000 to get 308 so that I can apply it against the 58.90. So when I multiply, I end up with the $18,141.20. Okay, that's the property tax. Okay, so that's it for this set of videos for chapter 19, and we're done. Okay, and we're going to be moving on to the next chapter, which is the chapter I like least in this book. All right, but that's a whole nother story. So I'll see you in chapter 20.